बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन जमुना तेरा वनचारी जमुना तेरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जगद्गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपदा जगद्गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपदा हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। गौर प्रेमानंदी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nastu Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastaki. Hare Krishna. Today in this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class, we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 38, Akrūra's arrival in Vrindavan, text number 28 through 43. We will finish off the whole chapter, about 15-16 verses, and we will recite text 43, and I will read the translations all along from the text 28 through 42, and then we will recite text 43. So the translation: Akrūra is coming to Vrindavan to take Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma with him on the order of King Kṛṣṇa. So the translation of text 28 through 33 is: Akrūra then saw Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma in the village of Vraja, going to milk the cows. Kṛṣṇa wore yellow garments, Balarāma blue, and their eyes resembled autumnal lotuses. One of those two mighty armed youths, the shelters of the goddess of fortune, had a dark blue complexion, and the other was white. With their fine-featured faces, they were the most beautiful of all persons, as they walked with the gait of young elephants, glancing about with compassionate smiles. Those two exalted personalities beautified the cow pasture with the impressions of their feet, which bore the marks of the flag, lightning bolt, elephant god, and lotuses. The two lords, whose pastimes are most magnanimous and attractive, were ornamented with jeweled necklaces and flower garlands, anointed with auspicious, fragrant substances, freshly bathed and dressed in spotless raiment. They were the primeval, supreme personalities, the masters and original causes of the universes, who had, for the welfare of the earth, now descended in their distinct forms of Keshava and Balarāma. O King Parikshit, they resembled two gold-bedecked mountains, one of emerald and the other of silver, as with their effulgence they dispelled the sky's darkness in all directions. Translation continued, text 34. Akrūra, overwhelmed with affection, quickly jumped down from his chariot and fell at the feet of Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, like a rod. The joy of seeing the Supreme Lord flooded Akrūra's eyes with tears and decorated his limbs with eruptions of ecstasy. He felt such eagerness that he could not speak to present himself, O king. So who is talking to whom? So who called O king? Who is speaking? Shukdev Goswami. To whom? He is the king. Thank you for being alert and prompt. Translation text 36 onward. Recognizing Akrūra, Lord Kṛṣṇa drew him close with his hand, which bears the sign of chariot wheel, and then embraced him. Kṛṣṇa felt pleased, for he is always benignly disposed toward his surrendered devotees. So in little purport here, according to the Acharya, by extending his hand, marked with the chariot wheel or chakra, Lord Kṛṣṇa indicated his ability to kill Kamsa. Translation continued, text 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. As Akrūra stood with his head bowed, Lord Sankarsana Balarāma grasped his joined hands. And then Balarāma took him to his house in the company of Lord Kṛṣṇa. After inquiring from Akrūra whether his trip had been comfortable, Balarāma offered him a first-class seat, bathed his feet in accordance with the injunctions of scripture, and respectfully served him milk with honey. The Almighty Lord Balarāma presented Akrūra with the gift of a cow, massaged his feet to relieve him of fatigue, and then, with great respect and faith, fed him suitably prepared food of various fine tastes. When Akrūra had eaten to his satisfaction, Lord Balarāma, the supreme knower of religious duties, offered him as herbs for sweetening his mouth, along with fragrances and flower garlands. Thus Akrūra once again enjoyed the highest pleasure. Nanda Maharaj asked Akrūra, O descendant of Dasaraha, how are all of you maintaining yourselves while that merciless Kamsa remains alive? You are just like sheep under the care of a butcher. That cruel, self-serving Kamsa murdered the infants of his own sister in her presence, even as she cried in anguish. So why should we even ask about the well-being of you, his subjects? Now, let's recite text 43. Ittham sunritaya vacha nandena subhajitaha Akrūra pariprasthena jahav adva parishramam Ittham sunritaya vacha nandena susabhajita Akrūra pariprasthena jahav adva parishramam Ittham sunritaya vacha nandena susabhajita Akrūra pariprasthena jahav adva parishramam. Sunritaya vacha नंदेन सुसभाजिता अक्रूरा परिपृष्टेन जभावद्वा परिश्रमम् इत्थं शृणुतया वाच नंदेन सुसभाजितः अक्रूरा परिपृष्टेन जहावद्वा परिश्रमम् इत्थं शृणुतया वाच नंदेन सुसभाजितः अक्रूरा परिपृष्टेन जहावद्वा परिश्रमम्। माता जी, इत्थं शृणुतया वाच नंदेन सुसभाजिता अक्रूरा परिपृष्टेन जहावद्वा परिश्रमम् इत्थं thus शृणुतया, very true and pleasing, vacha, with words, nandena, by Nanda Maharaj, so well, sabhajita, honored, Akrūra, pariprasthena, by the inquiry, Jaho, put aside, adva, of the road, parishramam, his fatigue. Translation and purport by the disciples of by Śrīla Prabhupada, by his grace, his divine grace, Śrīla Prabhupada. Śrīla Prabhupada ki, honored by Nanda Maharaj, with these true and pleasing words of inquiry, Akrūra forgot his fatigue of his journey. So this is the translation that, okay. Om ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam jena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha Shri Chaitanya manobhishtam sthapitam jena bhutale swayam rupa kada mahyam dadati swapadantikam vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansya He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindho Dīna Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in this whole chapter, in fact, Akrūra is setting the example for all of us how to approach Vrindavan Dham. As he is approaching towards Vrindavan, we can read his consciousness here by his words, how he is feeling. He is feeling ecstatic. He is hankering, looking forward to see the audience, to have darshan of Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma. He is living in Mathura, where Kṛṣṇa is ruling. And in one of the verses, Nanda Maharaj, he put his words for Akrūra that, what can I ask about your welfare, because I know you are already living under the rule of Kṛṣṇa, and you guys, all of you are like sheep living under the care of a butcher. How long the butcher can take care? Because his goal is to slaughter the sheep. So, one of the aspects that we can draw here today in this class is, as a devotee, we came to Vrindavan, we are living in Vrindavan, how we should live, what should be our consciousness, what should be our mood. Have we come to enjoy nice shopping, prasadam? Of course, prasadam is enjoyment, is the mercy of the Lord. But is that the only? No. We have come here to serve, to see the Lord every day, and to feel His presence from heart, not just superficial. Devotees, premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santat sadaiva hridayeshu vilokyanti yanashama sundara achintya gana sarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajam. So devotees are anointed with the love of Godhead. All the devotees, even those who are visitors, this land of Vrindavan, the abode of Lord Kṛṣṇa, is so powerful. As soon as they step out of their vehicle, first of all they take off their shoes, immediately leave them in the car or vehicle. And then they begin to immediately chant, Radhe, 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 Radhe. This is the place, Vrindavan. Impact, immediate effect we can see. Sometimes I personally feel that they are more advanced than even me, because I sometimes miss the feeling that I am in Vrindavan. I am so fortunate. I am blessed. We are blessed. We are so fortunate, but are we really relishing the services, the association of devotees? Some of us are new devotees. Some of us are very senior devotees. The whole point here is in the Akrūra's prayers, in his mind, what he is thinking, when I will see the Lord, my desires will be fulfilled. My life's mission will be successful. My life's purpose will be successful. That was his mood. Another aspect that we can get out of these verses is how to receive a guest, atithi. Atithi means who comes, tithi. Tithi means date and time. An atithi who comes without calling or without telling. Like those who have taken birth in the age of mobile phone, they may not know it. But I lived at least 40 years without mobile phone. And there was no mobile phone. Otherwise, Akrūra could have gone, hey Nanda, I'm coming. Probably tomorrow after the Ekadashi, I'll be there around 8 p.m. So he could have done that, but he didn't do it because there was no cell phones like that. He came, and immediately he was received very well. Everything was nice. So the whole process of reception is also mentioned here. So when we receive a guest, when we receive somebody as atithi, atithi devo bhava, the guests, they are like gods. So we should receive the guest like God. The reception, like first of all, we receive them. So Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, they are learning here under the guidance of the parents how to receive a guest, washing their feet, offering them a nice place to sit, immediately arrange for fan, nice place to sit, and then offer them different kinds of eatables after they have washed their feet and hands. Here, the difficulty was that Kṛṣṇa asked Akrūra to go to Vrindavan on Ekadashi. And Akrūra stayed overnight in Mathura itself, and the next day he started moving towards Vrindavan, so it was Dwadashi. And it became evening when he arrived, and generally the fast is broken in the morning. But it was evening time, but he did not think much about this ritualistic thing. He thought, oh God, I'm going to get this Mahaprasad in the home of Nanda Maharaj, in the home of Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma. How fortunate I am. So he set aside all those conceptions of breaking fast, and he broke the fast in the evening by honoring the prasadam offered to him at the place of Nanda Maharaj. So that's another thing. And then, of course, Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, they learned how to receive guests. So we can see when Sudama came to Kṛṣṇa in Dwarika, the same honor was given by Kṛṣṇa to Sudama, even though he was a very childhood friend, very poor, but no discrimination on the part of Kṛṣṇa. So that's another point. And also, now we are here, so I have a couple of stories to mention here, my own experiences, like we were in Rath Yatra in Los Angeles, and it is almost 25 years back. And in the morning, the temple president, he was asking for service, and he said, we need 4 devotees for each chariot. So we need about 12 devotees who would hold a rod on the side of the chariot wheel so that nobody can get crushed, or some finger or feet can get crushed under the wheel of the chariot. So immediately, some devotees, they raised hand right away, immediately, without any consideration. They might be thinking, we have to go to breakfast, we have to pack up, we have to do. No, they set aside everything, immediately raised their hands. And when I saw 2 devotees who are very familiar to me, they raised their hands, Nityananda and his wife, from Portland. They drove from Portland to Los Angeles to attend Rath Yatra. Okay. It's no big deal in America, you can drive that much. But, and they were the ones who raised their hands. Yes, Prabhu, we will do it, as you asked. But then I noticed, Nityananda had 6 stitches very fresh over here on his face, which he got when they were driving from Portland. Their tire burst and their SUV flipped 6 times, but fortunately they were wearing seat belts, they survived, but both they got injured. And they arrived in Rath Yatra in time, in the morning. They were there. They might have taken some painkillers or anything, but they're sitting in the morning Aarti, Mangal Aarti, and when they were requested, when there was announcement, impromptu, immediately they raised their hands because they were looking for service in Dham. They were looking for service to do when it's asked. They were not that, Prabhu, I need to do this, I need to do that. No. Voluntarily, immediately. 6 stitches. No complaint. No excuses. That's another time. We were in Toronto Rath Yatra, and we arrived driving, and then we approached temple president, Prabhu, how can we serve? Because whenever you approach Dham, the only pleasure, the only way to live is to do service. So we asked for service. And he said, in the kitchen, we have 400 pounds of boiled potatoes, and they got to be peeled. And we sat, there were about 8 of us. And we peeled and peeled and peeled and peeled and peeled like 4 hours straight. And it was like now Lord Jagannath is coming out and this thing is happening, we are hearing, but we are peeling potatoes. So the point is, when we are asked for service, we should try our best to fulfill that. When we are new devotees, sometimes it may happen that we may not understand something in this Bhagavatam or in the pastimes of Kṛṣṇa. There may be some dichotomy or some misunderstanding. But we have to hang on. We have to stay on, because one day that will be clarified. I am telling this based on my past 30 years of experience. I had many questions right from the beginning. But they were all answered in the time, as the time passed. And second thing is that there is a possibility that somebody would say us something that we may not like. We may not find that very palatable. We may want to say, yes, that was too much. And now I want to leave. I want to go. I don't want to hang around here because this is not what I came here for. It can happen. It may happen. It has happened to many. But those who were smart enough, those who were sincere enough, they said, no, that's nothing. I am not hurt. I am not bewildered. I am not going to go. I know what for I came here. Like I have to cross the whole big mountain, and here's a one little stone came under my feet. No, I don't want to climb. I'm going back. No. Kṛṣṇa consciousness. So here, when Akrūra was received, he is being served by Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma. And text 40 very nicely describes, Tasmai bhuktavate pritaya Ramaha param dharmita. Pritaya. With great love and affection. So whatever service we do, it should be fully developed, fully understood in love. No burden. Nothing. The moment we think of burden in anything, what to speak of devotional service, even for example, I go for a job every day, and if I don't want to go, I feel dejected to go, I feel bad about going to the job, how can I do my job? That's even the material thing. I will just feel all the time dizzy and burdened and feeling, looking at the watch when the time will happen, I will have to go. That can happen. We have to do it with full enthusiasm, utsaha, nishchay, dhairyat. Great enthusiasm. Like one time, some devotees from Los Angeles, they came to my temple town, Boise, Idaho, and they came for book distribution. So before they came, big truck came and all kinds of thousands of Bhagavad-Gita were offloaded from the truck. And I was like, wow. Then we came to know Vijay Prabhu with his associates is coming in his camper and everything. And we were ecstatic that we'll get their association. So in the morning, after Bhagavatam class, we were on in Prasadam. And I asked Prabhu, how can we serve you? How can we facilitate you here in your mission of distributing Bhagavad-Gita? Because you have taken the most desired seva of Srila Prabhupada, of distributing books. How can we serve you? If we will serve you, our life will be successful because you are distributing Srila Prabhupada books. Then he said, Prabhu, give me some enthusiasm. Very humble devotee. The point is, if we lose enthusiasm, every day we rise, not feeling burdened, oh man, I have to rise in the morning, what other devotees will say. I have to be in Mangal Aarti, and okay, I'm going. Anyways, no. Our mood is, yes, it is a service to Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma. We chant 16 rounds not to get rid of our karma, but to please Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, to please Radhe Shyam Sundar. For their pleasure I am chanting this. They might be, I'm dancing here in the kirtan. Why? Because they are pleased by seeing me dancing. Now, further we move on into this. The 16 texts, so it should be a very loaded class. But we have to speak a little bit about the Pani-hati Chidadahi festival also. So, the whole point here is Akrūra came and Nanda Maharaj, he mentioned that you are living like a sheep in the arena in the kingdom of Kṛṣṇa, who is like a butcher. You are always afraid and scared. Of course, Kṛṣṇa, so cruel, killed children of his own sister. So cruel. How can anyone be happy? But they had a hope. One day, son of Devaki will come and kill Kṛṣṇa. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We will be relieved. And when Akrūra was asked by Kṛṣṇa, bring Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma here so that we can kill them through wrestling match or some other means. And Akrūra is doing this job. And he's feeling, or he may have felt like, oh, I'm going to bring them here. And I know Kṛṣṇa is cruel. He will kill them both. He could have thought like that. But he knew that Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nothing can happen. Even he saw opportunity in difficulty that by going to Vrindavan, I will be able to see Lord Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma. I will be able to take the dust of Vrindavan on my head. Giriraj vas मैं पाओ ब्रज तज वैकुंठ न चाहिए. I don't want to go even to Vaikuntha by leaving the dust of Vrajamandal. That's the feeling of a devotee. That's the feeling of Vrajavasi. So when Akrūra came, he saw Vrindavan. He saw Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma doing their everyday chores like taking the cows to the pasture, milking, and doing all their everyday work. Everyday routine things that they were doing. Cowherd boy. So much description of Vrindavan is given. How Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, they are serving. And now gopis. When Akrūra saw all the gopis and cowherd men and women and ladies and gopis, they were overwhelmed. They were calling, Akrūra, you are not Akrūra, you are Krūra. You are cruel. You are taking away our Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, our beloved Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma. How can we call you Akrūra? That's your wrong name. Actually, you are Akrūra. So, they were cursing. They were not cursing directly, but in their minds, they were thinking why this Akrūra came. He's taking our Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma. That's not good. We can't live without them. Yashoda Mai fainted. All the cowherd girls, they fainted again and again. But Kṛṣṇa told them, don't worry, I'm going to come back. I will come back. I have a mission. I'm going, but I'm never separated from Vrindavan. I'm never separated from my devotees. I never leave Vrindavan. Vrindavan nipartajya pado ekana gacchati. Kṛṣṇa never leaves Vrindavan. He's always here, always present, always. And devotees, they have so many types. Why this whole temple complex is built by Srila Prabhupada for us to serve. Thousands of types of services are here, and thousands of devotees are involved in so many ways. And devotees, Srila Prabhupada left with 108 temples all over the world. And devotees and disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they have taken his mission further and further. Now thousands of temples are coming up. Thousands of devotees are taking initiation. We have to even expand our temple here because we couldn't accommodate people. Thousands of people are coming every day to the temple, having darshan of Shyam Sundara, Krishna Balarāma and God Nitai. Why it is happening? Because of that wonderful and tremendous efforts in preaching devotees are putting in all over the world. Wherever you go in a train or in a plane or in a bus, you will find devotees sitting and chanting and distributing books. This is Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON's mission. One time Srila Prabhupada was walking in Detroit on the morning walk, and he saw the mascot, the emblem of Asian Paints. And in Asian Paints, it was shown the whole globe, and the paint was flowing down, and the logo was, "We want to cover the whole world with our Asian Paints." Srila Prabhupada, look, that's our mission. We want to cover the whole world, every town and village of the whole world, by Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Akrūra, very nicely received by Nanda Maharaj and his two sons, two wonderful sons, lordships, Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma received Akrūra very nicely, and in such a way they received Akrūra that Akrūra forgot the fatigue of the journey he took on the chariot. In fact, when he came with his chariot, all the cowherd boys and girls, they were just looking at the chariot, because Vrindavan was a village, not a town, and there was no such chariot, there were only bullock carts. So they were amazed to see, chariot has come, somebody has come. Like that. They were clapping, they were dancing. But they did not know the person came, will take away Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma from Vrindavan. So we will stop Bhagavad Katha at this point. Akrūra's arrival in Vrindavan, he came to Vrindavan to take Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma with him on the order of Kamsa, so that Kamsa can execute his plan. But Akrūra knew right away, and on the way back, Akrūra will see the signs, the various omens, like we were driving one time from Boise to Los Angeles for Rath Yatra, and while passing through Nevada, on our right side we saw some deer, and we said, wow, auspicious, yeah, it's nice. We saw the deer passing on the right side, means all auspicious plan. So Akrūra also saw the deer on his right side while returning, and he was thinking, yes, this is very auspicious sign. Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma are competent enough to deal with Kamsa and his evil people. So today is Śrīla festival. So where this festival was celebrated? Where? Panihati. Why the name of the place is Panihati? The town is located 10 miles north of Calcutta, and the place was originally known as Pinati, because there was a kind of rice pinati which was being imported over there from various nearby places, paddy places. In Bengal, they grow a lot of rice. They eat rice, in fact, very much. And that pinati type of rice they would import, they will bring from all over the nearby places, and from there it will be loaded in the seaways, the barges and the tankers, and they will be exported other places. So because of the pinati, the place turned out the name like a Panihati. So in the Panihati, Raghav Pandit used to live there, and about 2 kilometers away, one of the 6 Goswamis lived there. Who was that Goswami? One of the 6 Goswami who lived there, 2 kilometers away from Panihati. Who lived there? Who was the Goswami who was involved in the pastimes of Raghunath Das Goswami? Wonderful. So Raghunath Das Goswami lived nearby, And it happened to be there. Like one time, Lord Chaitanya was there. And when Raghunath Das Goswami approached Lord Chaitanya, Raghunath Das Goswami, very renounced from the very beginning, very pure devotee, and he wanted to retire right from the beginning and serve the mission of Lord Chaitanya full time. But Lord Chaitanya asked him, just stay, hold on, time will come. You will see that happening. And after 2 years, Lord Nityananda happened to be there. And when Raghunath Das Goswami heard from devotees that Lord Nityananda is in Panihati, he asked his father permission to visit him. He got the permission and he went there. And from a distant place, Lord Nityananda was sitting on a little higher place near the bank of Ganga. And Raghunath Das Goswami paid obeisances from a far place. And devotees said, Lord Nityananda, look, Raghunath Das Goswami, he is paying obeisances from a far place. He is hiding. He is hiding from you. Then Lord Nityananda asked devotees, bring him here. And when he came, Lord Nityananda said, you are hiding like a thief. Because only thieves, they hide themselves. And you are hiding like a thief. That's why I'm going to punish you. So this Panihati Chivda Dahi festival is also known as a festival of punishment. It's a transcendental punishment. And Lord Nityananda asked Raghunath Das Goswami, arrange a huge feast of Chivda Dahi. I want you to arrange. So Raghunath Das Goswami, instead of feeling punished or feeling chastised, he was jubilant. He said, wow, now I'm going to serve the desire of Lord Nityananda. It's a great pleasure for me. Immediately he asked his fellows, bring chivda and dahi and many other fruits and sweets and bananas and so many things from the nearby places. They went in the bullock carts. They brought so much chivda, dahi, and the chivda was immediately soaked in the water in many, many big round-shaped ghada-like pots. And they soaked the chivda in that. Chivda is like a chipped rice. And after soaking, they made preparation of two types, two main preparations. Though they added so many things. I remember His Holiness Jaya Pataka Swami is, of course, he served in Mayapur for last maybe close to 50 years. And he loved this festival very much. And then he began to visit Atlanta Temple very often. Every year almost, he would be there in Panihati festival. And he would personally go to kitchen and would cook or prepare, I don't know, maybe 25 chivda dahi recipes and dishes, and then everyone will honor. So it's like a big festival. So same thing, Lord Nityananda ordered, and Raghunath Das Goswami, he brought all this stuff, and they soaked the rice. Then they divided the rice into two parts. One to make chivda dahi with yogurt, like chivda and in yogurt. And the other one was in condensed milk. So two preparations, two meals. So everyone, they got two pots of prasadam. One chivda dahi, other chivda condensed milk or evaporated milk, like that. So this is how, and then everyone was jubilant, ecstatic, feeling very great by the presence of Lord Nityananda, and thousands and thousands of people from nearby villages in their bullock carts and whatever, they got news, yes, Lord Nityananda is there. Big festival is happening. We have to go. Like here in Vrindavan, whenever there is a festival, we see whole Vrindavan is inundated with all the nearby village devotees. They flock, they flood towards Vrindavan. Vrajamandal Parikrama, Vrindavan Parikrama, Govardhan Parikrama. This is the holy place, Vrindavan. You may have to work very hard here to forget Kṛṣṇa. Other places, very easy to forget Kṛṣṇa. But in Vrindavan, impossible. You may be a super first class demon. But still, Kṛṣṇa will take you. Yep, you are here in Vrindavan, take my holy names. No longer a demon. You may be suffering like anything. You may have so many problems. Your life is miserable. In Vrindavan Dham, it will make you forget everything. You come to temple, chant in the kirtan, you will forget all your miseries, all your pains, all the difficulties of material existence. This is Dham. It may make this happen. It will make you forget all your difficulties. Because mercy is there. And Srila Prabhupada, by his transcendental visit to America, because when Srila Prabhupada went to America, I was attending a class given by a great Russian devotee, Patri Prabhu, and he mentioned in his class that one of the Russian devotee, he is the son of a great admiral of the naval forces of Russia. He became devotee. And after he became devotee, his father was in naval army in Russia. And he said, your guru, Srila Prabhupada, like you mentioned several times, he came to America in 1965 at the age of 69. And the date you are mentioning, when he landed, at the same time I remember, we had all our submarines loaded with all the nuclear warheads, all under the waters near New York. And I remember that date and the time also. And the whole plan was to start a war, Third World War. And suddenly the order came, no, this is not the time. All the Marines were ordered to return back to Russia. Your guru is not an ordinary person. Vishwa Guru, Jagat Guru, he has changed the destiny of the whole world by his arrival in New York. And now we can see ISKCON is growing like a wildfire. The very first book after joining ISKCON I read was the Hare Krishna Explosion by Hayagriva Das. And I didn't realize at that time, I was very new, that explosion. But now after reading that book 30 years after, 30 years ago, when I would come to India, I would see that people will look at you like a strange animal. Not long ago, only 25, 28 years ago. If you have a bead bag in your neck and you have a choti and shikha and tilak, people look at you. Where from you are? Are you Indian? Don't seem like Indian, because Indians they have lost. They had lost. Srila Prabhupada gave our identities back to us. Now we are proud of being Indian. Why? Because when Srila Prabhupada went to Western countries, the reporters asked him, Swamiji, why you have come here? Anyone who come here from developing country like India, they come here for degrees. They come here for job. They come here for earning money, making money. Prabhupada said, no, I have come here. You have looted India like anything. You robbed India, Indian temples, Indian jewels, and Indian, all the things you have robbed, like a thief, like a dacoit. Prabhupada spoke on their face. You came to India like a dacoits. And they were listening, yeah. Yeah, we are dacoits, yeah. He made them realize that you were dacoits, came to India. You looted India, everything from India, but you forget one thing. The spiritual culture and knowledge of India, which I have come to give you. I am here to give you, not to beg from you. Because India, now the whole effort in the whole world is every Indian भारत भूमि में जन्म हुई ले जार, जन्म सार्थक करी कर पर उपकार. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, anyone who has taken birth in the holy land of India, first you purify your own existence by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, and then purify your own existence. Become purified. And then, Kar par upkar. Amar agya guru hoya, taro ehi desh, jare dekho tare kaho, Krishna updesh. So, find the opportunity, find your niche, because in Krishna consciousness, one time one Mataji, she was traveling on behalf of BBT to cover the story of all the temples, taking photographs of the deities, and Nityatripta Mataji, she took photographs for about 80 plus temples, and Darshan book was published. And she came to our temple, and we asked Mataji, how you came into this whole thing. She said, I had a degree in photography, and I went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, your disciples, devotees, they are serving you in so many ways. I am just a photographer. How can I serve you? Prabhupada said, yeah, you have a degree in photography, take photographs of deities. And she started. And then she said, after a couple of months, I realized I am a photographer. And I am taking the deity photographs of Lord Kṛṣṇa. And generally photographers, they don't want their object to move. Because if they move, they will be blurring. And she said, believe it or not, Kṛṣṇa doesn't move when I take a photograph. So she's the perfect person to take a photograph. And I love it so much. And she has all kind of big zoomed cameras and everything, and she has been doing this for the last many years. And so in Krishna consciousness, thousands and thousands of types of service. Like I am always looking for using my background of professorship to serve Vrindavan Dham. So we got this government grant to do some Yamuna work on the pollution of Yamuna, how we can monitor that, infusing the groundwater studies, the modeling are going on. Some students are doing PhD under me. And now I started another project where we are going to take the images of satellite of whole Rajamandal and finding out how much deforestation have happened in the last 50 years. And we are going to bring a project to the government that we need almost the same forest cover in Vrindavan Dham, Rajamandal. That's our service to Srila Prabhupada. That's our service to Dham. That's what we are trying. And we are also trying to bring all the students of the college to chant Hare Krishna mantra. We are holding classes in the hostels every evening, and hundreds of students, they are coming. We are arranging prasadam. We are also serving once a month to 250 professors, PhD honors and faculties. And they attend the classes. Again, we have a program around 7th or 9th of this month, and about 250 professors will come. They will listen to our devotees of the temple, and they will chant and dance and honor Krishna Prasadam. That's Srila Prabhupada's mission. Purity, books are the basis, utility is the principle, and preaching is the essence. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Thank you very much.